So in the same way, one time the Shaykh had 4 murids. He had these 4 murids, and they got lost in the desert. Okay. They got lost in the desert, and there was no food, nothing to eat, and night was coming, and they didn't know what to do. So they said to the Shaykh, Shaykh, we got to eat, we're hungry, we need something to eat. So he said, Bismillah. And immediately a chicken appeared. Because the first chicken is another chicken story, right? So the chicken appeared, and the chicken broke itself into 4 pieces and roasted itself, and fed. They all ate, the murids all ate the chicken. They finished the chicken, they were sitting there again, and the Shaykh said, Bismillah. And what happened? The chicken come back together, whack, 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 and it flew away again like this, and there you go. So this is another thing he gave. What do you think if you saw that? If you were with the Shaykh and you saw this chicken come down, break itself into 4, and cook itself. Cook itself. How did that? Because they had no fire, but it had to cook itself. And no, I forgot one thing. It plucked itself too. It took all the feathers off of itself too. So you see, this is from the karamat of the Shaykh. You see, and these men. I mean, if you imagine yourself with the Shaykh and you saw this happen, do you think you'd be the same? No, you'd say, MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. You would never doubt him again. So this is why Allah gave this like this. Another time, there was a Christian priest. And this Christian priest used to come, you know, the origin of the Gyarween Sharif was that Ghaus al-Azam every month, on the 11th day of every month, he had a day for the general da'wah to the Muslim community. In other words, he had people who lived with him in his Khanaqah, who were studying with him every day, because he gave 3 discourses every day. He gave 3 discourses every day, each one different. But there were the generality of the people, and they didn't have, because they have to do this or they have to do that, they had one thing or another, they didn't have the benefit of, you know, being with the Shaykh every day and sitting with him and learning from him and everything. So he decided that once a month, and on the 11th day of the month, he would invite everybody to come, just like you all have come today, invite everybody to come to this thing called Gyarween Sharif, so that everybody would benefit from sitting with him and get some learning from him. And anybody was welcome, even. And so this Christian priest came this day, and he came to him, and he got into an argument with the Shaykh, and he said, no, he said, Isa alayhi salam is better than Muhammad alayhi salam, because Isa could bring people to life. He could raise people from the dead. So he must be a higher, you know, Rasul than Muhammad alayhi salam. And so he, you know, he went into the argument with that. So he said, for us, this is not a big deal. He said, come with me. Come with me, let's take a walk. And they took a walk and they went to the graveyard. They went to the graveyard and he said, okay, now we'll bring somebody. You show me a grave, any grave here, pick a grave, any one of them, pick a grave. He looked, the priest, he looked for the oldest grave there, right? He found the oldest grave there. He said, okay, this one. And the Shaykh said, Bismillah. And from the grave there came a musician with his tar, already with his drum. He came up out of the grave with his drum, and he began to sing. Wallahi, yani, the priest was flabbergasted by this. He never had seen anything like this. Ya Rasulullah, Ya Ghousia. So the priest said to him, he said, MashaAllah, I take back what I said. I say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, and he came to Islam. Then Ghaus al-Azam said to this singer man, he said, you want to come to town, or you want to come back with us and we sing for the people? And he said, no, no. He says, I want to go back to the grave and wait for Yom Qiyamah, inshallah. So this is the story of another one of the things. And you see, what was the result of that, of this karamat? This Christian priest accepted Islam by it. What's the reason for it? Because it's not the miracle in it, it's not the karamat in itself, it's what it does to the people who see it, or the people who hear it, what it does to change their iman. So another time, what happened was, there was once a boy, and he drowned in the river. He drowned. And his mom, like all moms, was very sad in her heart. She missing her son. He's yatim, his baba is dead, and she depending upon him for the help her in the life. She need him. And she is very, very, wallahi, very upset from this. So she goes to Ghaus al-Azam and she says to him, Ya Ghaus al-Azam, I'm shy. I'm shy to come with you to this, and I know that Allah, gives the life and gives the death and everything, but I need my son. I don't know how to go on without my son. Is there anything that you can say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring him back? He says, Insha'Allah. And he says what he says, and like that. And he said, now you go home and you're going to find him waiting there. Okay, so she went home, but he was not there. And she was beginning to feel like, how some of these people, they say inshallah, and you don't know, this inshallah means a lot of different things, right? So maybe he's not all that they said, Ghaus al-Azam, only she's not a murid, she's just somebody who knows this one, he's a great man. She said, maybe, okay, I don't know about that, I think I'll go back and, I'll go complain to him. He said, I came back home and, and I went there and there was nobody there, and like that, and like this, and so on and so forth, like that. And so she goes back to him, and he tells her again. He says what he says, and he says to her, go back home and you'll find him. He made a long dua for that, and you'll find him waiting for you. So she went back home again, and when she got there, and she came back, and like this, and still no son. She began to cry, she began to weep. And so she went again, and the third time, and he told her, he said, you will be waiting, you will find him like this, there, like that, and he will be there. And they said, oh. She went back, and he was there. Subhanallah. She's, her face lit up like that. She's very happy. She said, MashaAllah, this man is great. This Ghaus al-Azam is really the Ghaus al-Azam. So she was very happy, really happy, and when you want to happy, you want to share your happiness with other people. So she went back and to tell him, Ya Ghaus al-Azam, really, I doubted you. Like first time you said, I don't know, you said inshallah, I'm not so sure, you're really who you say you are, and like this, but now I know you are who you are. You really are who you are, and I tell you, I'm so thankful to you that you brought my son back to me. And he says, Mom, let me tell you what happened. He said, the first time at the dua, the angels had to gather him back together again, because there's the jism, and there's the jasad, and there's the ruh, and there's the nafs, and there's the dur, all of those things, because when you die, all those things go their way. The angels had to bring that all back together again, and they weren't finished with that. They hadn't finished their job. So when you got back there, he still wasn't there, because the angels were working on it. And then, the second time, he returned to his life, but he found himself, he had been dead, and he was confused. He didn't even know. So when I made the dua the second time, I made the dua that he would remember where he came from, because he had been dead. To remember where he came from and go back to his house and go back to his home and be there for you when he came. And so that's why it took me this many times in order for that to happen. So that's the story of that one.